Welcome back to the Slice of Anime podcast. This is the second episode of the Slice of Anime podcast where we go over everything from the previous week in anime news and whatever's going on in the anime world, as well as talking about some anime related stuff and some non-anime related stuff at the very end. So if you're interested in that, this week we're going to be talking about some new figures that came out, my top 25 anime girls that I did on Twitter last week, as well as talking about the Acolyte a little bit, as well as my anime recommendation and a few extra little bits here and there. So let's go ahead and get right on into all of that. So first up in the news, SmileFest 2024 took place this week. That is a Good Smile event they put on every year. They have for the last few years now. And it's pretty much just an event to where they announce a bunch of new figures, especially Nindroids. And that's pretty much what I'm going to talk about mostly today, because unfortunately there wasn't a whole lot here that I personally caught my attention. I want to mention a few things though, and one of them is the Apothecary Diaries is getting a new Nindroid as well as a new figure of Mao Mao in her little gown thing. I really like those. Those look really nice, as well as a new Taiga Nindroid from Toradora. Taiga already has an Nindroid, but this is a 2.0 version. And what this tells me is they're open to making 2.0s of other figures. So I'm really hoping for maybe a K-On 2.0 because Toradora is not new. So maybe we can get a K-On 2.0 line. Maybe we can finally get some characters in there that we didn't get before. I feel like that'd be a really good line to make a bunch of them in, but they haven't in a long time, and those Nindroids are very outdated. So, but we do get Taiga, so maybe this means we'll get Ami and the other one. So we'll see. Time will tell. As well as we also got a Chino figure or a Nindroid from the Is the Order a Rabbit. This is a variant because she already has one. Now what this tells me is with the Chino here is that we may be getting two new characters. And it's Maya and the blue one. I think we might be getting them. And the reason that I say that is because they made 3 figures of them in their school outfits. And this is Chino in her school outfit, so I don't know why they wouldn't make those 2. I feel like that is the perfect opportunity to do that. Those are the 2 next main characters in the line. Like, you made the main 5, now make the 2 that are like Chino's friends. And there you go, you're doing more of the line. Another one, we got 2 Konosuba Nindroids announced. We also got a bunch of figures from them. The figures really don't interest me, but the Nindroids do. I really like all the Nindroids from this line, so really cool to see them. As well as we got some more free run stuff. I really like a bunch of the free run stuff that I've seen. They obviously see that as a great moneymaker. I'm glad they do. We did get the little chest that eats her all the time. We're getting that as a Nindroid, which I find odd. I'm not saying that's a bad idea, but there's so many other Nindroids of other characters you could do that they haven't done, and I'm like, well, it's odd how they do stuff sometimes, but we'll go with it. We'll see what they put out soon. Now, they put out a whole bunch more. If you want to go check that out, I'll try to remember to put a link down in the description. But some interesting notes here. No Love Live at all. I was kind of hoping we'd get an Nindroid of Love Live. I was kind of hoping for Chisato, Sumire, or Rin even from Superstar, and didn't get any of them. So right now we're still at Kanan and Kuhu. That's it for that line. We didn't get any of the Nijigasaki girls as Nindroids. We didn't get any of the new girls as Nindroids. So I almost feel like that line, they've kind of given up on it, which makes no sense because they make so many Idolmaster Nindroids. Idolmaster, I would assume, is not as popular as Love Live, but to Good Smile, it is. So I don't know if the rights are hard to get for Love Live. I don't know how that works. Maybe there's not as much profit to make out of Love Live. Maybe Love Live takes out a bigger cut. Have no idea. But that's how it seemingly is, and I don't know, but that's disappointing. We also didn't get any Attack on Titan stuff. They have announced, which we have for pre-order already, the pop-up parade of the Beast Titan. they've announced that we're getting a pop-up parade of the female Titan. I would assume that we'll see pictures of that soon. I don't know why we wouldn't. And I would assume as well that if you're going to make those 5, why not just complete the thing? So give us a Warhammer Titan, give us a Jaw Titan, give us a Cart Titan, just make them. And I don't know why they don't. You could give us a $300 Founding Titan of Aaron, and I'd buy it. I don't know who else would, but I'd buy it. So I don't know. That's a down the line thing. I don't think they'll do that, but I wish we would have got something. There's a bunch of Nindroids they could still make from this line that they haven't done, and I don't know if the Nindroids don't sell. Maybe they don't, but everybody seems to be moving on from Attack on Titan, and Attack on Titan, to me, would still be a massive moneymaker if they actually put more stuff out, but they aren't, so I don't know. And that's pretty much it. Nothing, no laid back camp, which I found odd. I thought we would for sure get we did get a little bit of laid back camp, but nothing great or nothing crazy, and no Nindroids. So I thought we'd definitely get a Nindroid of that one girl from the new season. I thought since she plays a bigger role this season, I thought we'd definitely get an Nindroid of her. We didn't. We didn't get any variants as well, so I don't know. They just kind of, it's odd. No Demon Slayer Nindroids as well. We did get a few Demon Slayer figures, but no Nindroids, so interesting there as well. But they did just put up for pre-order 2 new ones, so I'll give them that. They're still new, so I'll give them a break there. But the everything else I thought was fine. Nothing crazy. They do have one hobby in the spring and fall. So those, for me, the last few years, Smile Fest is always great. It's fun. There is usually a few interesting things, which, like I said, the Taiga stuff, the Free stuff, the Konosuba stuff, that is all great. But usually those 2 events in the spring and fall, those are the ones that give you the really cool stuff. This is just a fun extra thing, but it is what it is. And I think overall, an 8 out of 10 event, maybe 7 out of 10, it was fine. Nothing crazy. I'm probably going to pre-order 10 things from it, which you might say, that's insane. That's a lot of stuff. I've seen One Hobbies before to where I'm I'm going to pre-order 30 things from this. And that's not this event. There's not 30 things in here that I even want. There might be 10, like I said. 10 max, probably. Maybe I'll probably end up with only 8 of these things. So, and 7 of them are going to be Nindroids. The only other one would be that Mao Mao figure from Apothecary Diaries. But we'll see. We'll see. More images will come out. None of these are up for pre-order yet. They'll be up eventually, probably later this year. So stick around. You will see them as they come out. They will just go follow Good Smile, and you will see them as they are put up for pre-order. So just stay tuned for that. Also in the news this week, we got a new trailer for If My Wife Becomes an Elementary School Student, and this broke the internet. This is a series that I don't know a whole lot about. I have not read it. I don't want to read it because it's coming out as an anime. Usually if an anime is announced for a series, even if I find out there's a manga or light novel for it, I'll wait until afterward to read it because I don't want to spoil myself. I'd rather watch the anime and see it that way first, then go back. So I do not know the details of it, but I know that it has been highly, praised for being a really good series talking about death and overcoming that and everything like that. No spoilers because I don't really know any, but I know that. And this series has been getting flamed for pretty much just the title alone. Because there are so many anime that they'll hear the title and they will immediately say, this is lolicon bait. And I'm sorry, that's such a hollow, I don't want to say no brain, dumb idea, but it is. It's so stupid that you would think that way. Just, I want you to actually watch media and interpret it because all right, take a look at this. You're going to look at Rascal Does Not Your Bunny Girl Senpai and you're going to say, that's just a series about using fan service. No, it's not. you aren't going to do that. My Little or A Sister Is All You Need is a great series. I don't think it's fantastic, but it's a lot better than what its name is. So I hate when people do that to where they pretty much shut down a series before it's even out, which in this case, what I will give them is they are getting a lot of publicity for it. So I hope that is any publicity is good publicity, and this will give them a good crowd. They will get a lot of viewership, and I hope that it's as good as what people are saying it will be, and I am excited to check it out in the fall. That is coming out in the fall, so we'll check that out whenever it arrives. Also, by the time you're watching this, Demon Slayer's 7th episode is already out, but there is an 8th episode coming out next week. The 7th and 8th episode are both extended cuts. The 7th episode, which aired today, is a 40-minute episode. Next week will be a 60-minute episode. So we're actually getting an hour and 40 minutes in these last 2 episodes. Now, I'm not going to spoil anything, but I do think this is a great move because of the events that happen and where I think the manga will, or where this season will end in the manga. I think it will end on a pretty big cliffhanger, and I think that is a great place to end it. And I think you do need those extra minutes to do that because this week, like I said, I'm recording this on Saturday, so I don't know what it's going to be like. But I think you will get a full episode of kind of character development this week. I think next week you'll get a lot of kind of teasing going up to the final probably 20 minutes, and 20 minutes will be very action-packed. Excuse me. But I think it will be interesting how that is done. I think it will be done very well. I'm not 100% happy with how this season went. We got a full episode with Tengen. Then we got a full episode with, we got another one that was a full episode. And I just don't like that pretty much our full episodes were with characters we already knew. Giyu, we got a full episode with him, which is fine, and we learned some stuff about him. But I kind of wish that we would have not gotten the one with Tengen. We've got a lot with Tengen already. He's got a whole season. So I don't think we need more with him. We've already gotten it. So when we got that, I was kind of disappointed. And then when we get to like Obanai, we didn't need a lot of time with him. I wish we got more with him. There was just characters that I wish we would have got more development in because we're getting into this final arc, and they will get development in that arc, but there is so much going on in that last arc that it is going to be insanely hard to have those moments where we slow down, where we talk about the characters. This is a perfect time to do that. I thought we would get 8 episodes to where we talk about the 8 remaining Hashira, and then probably I knew it'd be hard with that last like 2 episodes because there's a bunch of character development with that last Hashira, the Stone Hashira, which I'm forgetting his name. But I knew we'd get a lot of development with him, so I knew he would take a full episode, maybe even 2, and then you'd have that final like 20 minutes to talk about what's setting up, and there's some big scenes coming. So you're gonna need that, and to me, it was odd how they structured it, and then just kind of mixing it up midway through the season. I don't want to say it's bad. I think it's been good. It's been animated well, but it's just disappointing that, I don't know, it just feels like so kind of thrown together leading up into this final arc, which the final arc is now pretty much all but confirmed that it's going to be 3 movies, which I think that's great. I think, no spoilers, but I think you're going to get a big fight with the new Upper Moon 6 and Big Upper Moon, or the new Upper Moon 2. In the first movie, you'll get the Upper Moon 1 in the second movie, and then you'll get the Muzan fight in the final movie. And I'm looking forward to that because I think, number one, I think it would be really cool if they made like 3 posters, and each movie has a separate poster, but you don't put Tanjiro in each poster. Just put like Tanjiro in the last poster. Put like some like Zenitsu in the first one. Put whatever, Shinobu in the first one or the second one, and then whatever, Kano in the second one, whatever, and then whenever you get all 3 of them up, it'll make this one big mural. I think that'd be so cool if they do that, but we'll have to see how it goes. I'm really looking forward to that. Like I said, next week we will get kind of the answers as to where we're going to start off from. We'll probably get an announcement on the movies. I would say we're not going to get that movie, the first one, until probably summer of next year. Then probably like spring of 2026, and then fall of 2026 will probably be the last one. If I'm guessing, I don't know, but I would assume that is going to be the case. So that's just my guess, but I don't know. But that'll be it for the news segment. If you have any news that I think I missed, comment down below. I'll try to throw it in next week if it is relevant enough, and then we will come back next week to talk about all the news for for this coming week. And I don't think there'll be a ton. We're kind of just in this dog days of the spring season going into the summer season. So not a whole lot I don't think will be announced. Maybe I'm going to jinx it. Maybe there'll be some big announcements coming. We'll see. But like I said, we'll address that next week. So stay tuned for that. Now, this week's topic of the week is going over my top 25 anime girls for summer 2024. Now, that is not to say that there is only girls from this year. They are for my all-time ranking, but what I'm going to do is this is my updated ranking as of summer 2024. So it might change. It probably, it will probably stay similar, but this is my overall ranking. I'm not going to go into detail on every single one of them, but I will give some details on certain ones, especially the ones towards the top, and why I place them over maybe other characters from their series or whatever. So anyway, let's get started. At number 25, I'm put Power from Chainsaw Man. I really like Power. I think she was a great character. I think she's very fun. I don't know a lot about Power yet, though. I've only watched season 1. I've not read any of the manga, so I don't know a lot about her. Maybe there's other Chainsaw Man, characters that I will like more. So we will address those as I find out about them. But I like Power. She seems like really fun, and I'm a cat person. She's a cat person, so that's why she is number 25. At number 24 is the only free reign character that I added on this list, and that is Fern. I really like Fern. I think Fern is a fantastic character, and I think I don't want to say I relate to her, but I think she's very fun to watch, fun to be, a great character to lead a series. Even though free reign is the lead, Fern is kind of like a secondary main character, and she is great in that position. I'm very excited to see more about Fern. I need to catch up with the manga and everything, but I am excited to see where her character goes. And I think it will be very great. And I think if that is the case, if I think she'll go the way I think she will, she'll go up on this list as time goes by. Number 23 is Yor from Spy Family. No real explanation needed here. Yor is fantastic. If anything, you could make a case that she should be higher on this list. But for now, I put her down here. We are getting season 3 very soon, so maybe she will rise up there. But I think some of her best moments are in season 2. It was fantastic. Yor definitely deserves to be on this list. Like I said, I can make a case that she should be much higher even. But number 22 is Aisha from Bishoko Tensei. I think Aisha was great. The few scenes she is in season 2. Now, I'm not fully caught up with season 2 yet, so maybe there is more that I need to see about Aisha, but so far everything I've seen I really like. I like her stuff in season 1. She's just very fun to me, and that's why she's here. This is more just a fun pick, so I put a few of them on here, just characters that I like that are fun. Not a whole lot of explanation behind them, but they just get thrown on here. The next one here is Akari this is Akarin, I spelled her name wrong, and I don't remember her actual name, but she is her from Train to the End of the World. So this is a new series that came out this season. It is not finished yet. Its final episode got delayed a week, so it is not finished at the time of writing this, but she is my favorite character probably from this season. I think she is absolutely adorable. She is very fun. Some of my funniest moments of this season is from her. So 10 out of 10 character in my opinion. I did not have any problems with her. She is in the running for best character of the year. Probably won't take that spot. Probably a character further up will get that, but she'll be in like the top 5. So we'll come back to her. I guarantee it. Next up, we have Mia from Love Live. I want to give a shout out to a Mia Taylor, which was a daily post that went on every year, for not every year, every day throughout a year, that was on Twitter this last year. I forgot their username, but I will link it in the down low. I will try to if I remember. But if you want to, go check that out. That was fantastic, and they just ended it. It was their year anniversary, and they ended it. That was some of my favorite stuff that I've seen on Twitter, possibly ever. I enjoyed it so much. Seeing those daily posts, they were fantastic. It was a great artist. Go check them out. Even though it's over, they do still put out great stuff, so I do recommend going and checking them out. I'll put them up here. In case I forget to link them, I will put their username right here. So go check them out. They make great Mia stuff, and they will make great other Love Live stuff going forward, and just great stuff in general. So go check them out. Next up is Marin from My Dress Up Darling. No real explanation, needed. She's just great. Marin's great. Moving on. Next up is Sasha from Attack on Titan. This is number 18. I do really like Sasha, and I'm making a case for this because I'm going to talk about it here in a minute. But I really like Sasha, and she used to be my favorite. I don't think she's my favorite anymore, but she's up there. She's up there. We'll come back and we'll talk about Sasha here in a little bit. Number 17 is Kaguya from Love is War. I love Kaguya. I think the whole series is great, but I think she is the funniest, and I think she is the most compelling character to learn more about. And I think she is, even though she is kind of a unique character, I think she is very relatable. And I think, it's just kind of like not like a relatable as in like, I know the scene, like I go through the same thing. It's just I can understand her point of view. The funny thing is she gets into everything, the being bad at love pretty much. I just love that. That is some of my favorite stuff to watch. And they make her great at it. Everyone in the series is great. She's just probably my personal favorite. So that is my thoughts there. Number 16 is Bocchi from Bocchi the Rock. Bocchi is great. No explanation needed. If anything, like with the other ones here, you can make a case she needs to be higher. But I just really like her, and I think she deserves to be right here. So next up is Nezuko from Demon Slayer. Now, I don't really care for Nezuko this much, and I don't really know why she's on this list to begin with. I don't really have any merch of her at all. So, yeah, maybe this was a typo or something, because I don't buy anything Nezuko. Moving on is number 14, which is Megumin from Konosuba. Konosuba just had its final episode of its third season, and I really enjoyed that. That was really fun to me. So I kind of on a Megumin kick. I've always liked Megumin. If anything, Darkness should have maybe made this list, but I made this list before its final episode. Darkness might have slipped into like the 25th, 24th range, but probably not. I like Darkness, and I think Darkness is a lot of fun, but Megumin has always been my favorite, so here she is. Now, next up is another Love Live character, and that is Honoka from Love Live School Idol Project. I really like her. She's probably my favorite of Muse, or she is my favorite from Muse. I do like, now I made a rule with this to where I only limit it to 3 characters from Love Live and 1 per series. So you get 1 more in this list that's later on. But this is the only Muse girl, and that Mia was the only Nijigasaki girl. There is no Aqua's girls in here. Ruby just missed out. She probably would have been about, maybe like 24 if I included more than 3, but I want to limit it to 3, otherwise the whole list would be Love Live characters. So, yeah. Great characters, just not here. Honoka, though, I really like her. Always been one of my favorites. I think she's a fantastic protagonist. That is why they have pretty much made multiple Honoka clones. That's harsh, because that's not the case, but you get what I'm saying. Anyway, number 12 is Kumiko from Sound Euphonium. Now, I'm not finished with Sound Euphonium Season 3. I know it's over now. It just ended today, I believe. It ended this week or it ends next week. I don't know. I'm like 2 episodes behind, so I need to catch up. But I do like Kumiko a lot. I think she is a fantastic protagonist. The way she is not like other protagonists. She really is able to kind of create this unique atmosphere around her, even though she is presented as kind of like an average girl. I like that. I like that whenever that's done like that. You don't see that very often, but they do it really good with Kumiko. So I gotta appreciate that. Now, number 11, we're getting back to the Sasha discussion because number 11 is Annie from Attack on Titan. I really like Annie, and Annie has become more and more of my favorite character from Attack on Titan. And I want to make a video going over my thoughts on just the female Titan and Annie in general. I think that is a fantastically well done character, and her arc in season 1 and then her arc in the end I think is fantastic. And I want to talk about this more, but I would be here all day discussing it if I'd made it all right here. So we're going to save that for next time. I promise I will make a video on that, but just know Annie is my favorite Attack on Titan character in general. Armin would probably be number 2, so maybe that made both of them higher on my list, but I love both of them. I think they're both fantastic. Now, number 10 is the only quintessential quintuplets character here, and that is Itsuki. She is the youngest of them, and she is my favorite. She has been my favorite for a very long time. I just love her personality. I love the way she is kind of a unique sister. All of them are unique, but she stands out to me more than the rest. If I had to rank the rest of them, it would be Yotsuba next, and then Nino, and then Ichika, and then Miku at the bottom. If they came close, Yotsuba would probably be like 27th. Nino would be like 30th. Then Ichika probably like 35. Miku is probably like 100. So they're close. 4 of them are. But Itsuki is the highest on the list. She is number 10. So really like her. Next up is number 9, and this is Sayu from Higehiro. I love this anime, and I will talk about it later because there is a question in the Q&A that is talking about just this, so I'm going to save that discussion for them. But just know, love Sayu. I think she's a fantastic character and worthy of all the praise that I'm going to give her. Now, next up is number 8, and that is Chisato from Licorice Recoil. One of my favorite anime of all time. It is a newer anime, came out in 2022. Yeah. And I think it was fantastic. I hope we get more of it soon. Chisato, the way her character is, to where she's kind of bubbly, but also at the same time can be very serious. I like that a lot. I like characters like that. Speaking of a serious character, it's number 7. And that is Lucy from Cyberpunk Edgerunners. I have a Lucy figure right on my desk. She's one of my favorite characters of all time. I really like Lucy. Lucy is... I like Rebecca. Rebecca is fun. Everybody wants to say Rebecca is the best. I think Lucy is the most interesting character. I think everything that she does is just really, it's compelling. You feel for Lucy. Even though she starts off as this character you really don't relate to, by the end she is just fantastic. And so, highly big fan of her. Next up is number 6, and that is Chizuru from Rent a Girlfriend. You probably know by now that I really like Chizuru, and Chizuru has rose on this list quite a bit. Now, she's not my favorite Rent a Girlfriend character. We'll get to that in a minute, but she is one of my favorites. I think she is if I wanted to make a prettiest anime girl, Chizuru would probably be number 1. But looks are not everything, and I think her personality is great as well, especially where she's at in the manga right now. Hot take, I like what they're doing with her character, but I know that's a hot take. But like I said, not my favorite, so we'll get back to Rent a Girlfriend here in a minute. Number 5 is probably what will be my favorite girl of 2024, and that is Mau Mau from the Apothecary Diaries. She is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I could make an argument that she needs to be on the top of this list, but I'm not going to do that yet. Could she go up more than this? Probably, and probably will, especially when we get season 2. So keep an eye on her. She may creep up this list some more. Now, number 4 is Ruka from Rent a Girlfriend. Love Ruka. Ruka has been my favorite character for a very long time. Not my favorite character overall, but my favorite character in Rent a Girlfriend. My Twitter username before it was Slice of Anime, it was RukaGang20. So there you go. No explanation needed. She is, if you remember back to the video where I said how many of each character do I have in my collection, Ruka was number 1 with quite a big margin, so that's why she's here. Now, number 3 is Takagi from Teasing Master Takiya-san. Love this character in her young version and her old version. I think she's great all around. I think this whole anime is one of my guilty pleasures to where I can't get enough of it. They could make 10 more seasons and I would watch every single episode of it. Very fun. I hope we get more of them. I hope we get that older versions of them. But if we don't, I'm very happy with the 3 seasons and a movie that we did get. I love it so much, and I highly recommend it if you have not watched it. Number 2 are the same number 2 that have been on my list for a long time, probably 2 years now. And number 2 is Kanin from Love Live. Superstar. I think she's my favorite Love Live character. Now, do I like what they did with her in season 2? Not really, and that's why she slipped to number 2 on this list. But I did really like what they did with her in season 1. And I'm very, very, very cautiously optimistic about where she goes in season 3. I think she could go very far. I think she could, become another great character. But there is also the possibility that they don't. Love Live has kind of disappointed me lately on some of the decisions they have made, especially with season 2 of Superstar and the Yohane, spinoff. So I'm hoping that that is not the case here, but I'm not holding my breath. So we'll save it, but for now, Kanin is number 2. She is a fantastic character, in my opinion. But number 1 is Azusa from K-On! I love her so much. Some of my favorite anime scenes involve Azusa. I love the arc at the end of K-On! I think having her, the events after the school festival, and then leading into the events of the final episode is such a great moment for Azusa, and we see her kind of struggle to accept it. She is the last of the group to accept that they're graduating, and I think that's such an interesting detail. To where her character goes from where we meet her in season 1 to where we see her at the end, love what they do with her. Love this character so, so much. She is adorable. She is so much fun to watch. The comedy moments are fantastic, and the serious moments are out of this world. Love Azusa to death. That will be it. That is my top 25 ranking here. Now, that is not the end of the podcast. We do have more coming up, so stay tuned for that. But this is my top 25 for now. Like I said, we will come back to this probably in the winter, so stay tuned for that, and we will see if anything changes between now and then. And what is your top 5 anime girls? Maybe we'll do a boys list in the fall or something. So stay tuned for that. But anyway, that is it for the topic of the week. We will be back next week with another topic. But now it is time for the Q&A section. Now, for this section of the podcast, it is the Q&A section. If you have any questions you want me to answer, you can ask them down below, or you can ask them on Twitter. I will be putting up a question on Saturdays, usually to ask you any questions. So if you haven't already, go follow me on Twitter. You can see that as soon as it goes up, and you can ask me a question. Now, I did take one of those questions, and I did move it to next week, so stay tuned for that. That will actually be the topic for next week, so stay tuned. But this week we have 2 questions because being the 25 girls, I knew that'd take up a little bit of time, as well as my off-topic section. So we're going to do just 2 this week, and the first of those is from I Am Cubone. He is a follower of mine, has been for a very long time. But his question is there any collections bigger or better than mine, and do I have a goal for my collection? I am certainly positive that there is collections bigger than mine. Do I have a goal necessarily? My goal has always been to, honestly, my goal is to make it to 1,000 anime, because I want my 1,000th anime to be One Piece, and I feel like that will take multiple years once I get there. So that is kind of my goal, is to get to 1,000 anime, and along the way collect merch from as many anime from those 1,000 as I can. Right now, I think I'm at like having merch. I know I'm at 282 at the moment, but I think I have merch from about maybe like 240 of those. So I'm doing pretty well. Some of those I only have like merch of like a keychain or acrylic stand, so there isn't a ton. And some of them I just have Blu-rays of, so that's another thing. Like a lot of these Studio Ghibli, I just have Blu-rays of, but they just don't make merch for all of the Studio Ghibli films. Like Ponyo has very, very little merch, so I try to get something from each series, whether it be a acrylic stand, whether it be a Blu-ray. If they make figures, I'm gonna get a figure of it. So just depends, and but that's my goal, is to have a item from each anime that I watch, and then make it to 1,000 anime. I think that would be a really good goal. I'm gonna be very happy if I ever do that. But it has been almost 4 years, and I am at 282, so it's probably gonna be like 16 years before I get there. So maybe not, but it seems that way. Then the next question here is from Mr. Frizz. I think I pronounced your name right. But what is my favorite one-season anime that I don't think needs a second season? So this is an interesting one that I think has multiple answers. There are some anime that I think would be ruined with a second season, and then there are some anime that I think could use a second season, but I'm fine if they never get it. For example, I mentioned this earlier. Licorice Recoil does not need a second season. It could definitely use a second season, and I think it would be great, but I don't think it would be ruined by a second season. But if it never gets that, it's perfectly fine. Now, there are anime that I think would be ruined by a second season. Cyberpunk Edge Runners, I think, would be ruined by a second season. A Place Further in the Universe, I think, would be ruined by a second season. I just don't think it could be quite live up to what it was. And the one that I've mentioned earlier that I'm going to talk about now is Hegehiro. Hegehiro, and I'm not going to spoil it for you. I'm going to try not to. But it does end in kind of a vague ending on where it goes. Now, you can kind of make assumptions on what happens. I've made my assumptions. I kind of have made up my mind on what I want the ending to be, and I think that's what the author intended. I like series like that just end, and they're like, okay, that's the ending. You can decide what happens next. It's just your opinion. I like series like that. I think Attack on Titan is that way. So I like series like that, and Hegehiro does that very, very, very well. It is one of my all-time favorite animes. It was my anime of the year in 2021, so one of my favorites. And that's another one, going back to what we mentioned earlier. I shaved my beard and took in a High School Runaway. Sounds awful, but it's really good, and I enjoyed it a lot. So I think you don't want to judge a book by its cover, and this is one of my. But going back to your question here, that is basically my opinion. There are anime that I think could use a second season, but if it never gets it, I'm fine. And then there are anime that I think don't need a second season. This is another one. I just made a video on this. Girls Last Tour. I'd love it to get a second season. It'll never get that, and I'm fine with that. It's a great anime as is. So that is my answer. The next part of the podcast here is where I highlight a new anime or old anime to recommend to you for the week. Now, this is an anime that just ended, so if you have not watched it yet, don't worry, I'm not going to spoil it here, but it is about Grandma and Grandpa turn young again. Now, this is a new anime, just came out in spring 2024. This is a series that I don't have enough to talk about to make a full-length video of, and I will mention it again whenever I talk about all the anime from this season. but I'm going to quickly mention it here so that you can go watch it before anybody spoils it for you. It's a fantastic series. It deals with the fact that a grandma and grandpa who are in their probably 80s suddenly become young again after eating an apple that is golden. And what is interesting here to me is that the way it tackles kind of accepting the end of life, accepting that as you get older, it's harder to do things. It's harder to do stuff with your grandkids. If you are somebody that has a grandparent you've been close to, this is really relatable. If you are an older person who has kids or whatever, I think it's also very relatable. To where basically time moves on, you can't stop it, and it's not something you should be afraid of. It's something that you should cherish. And I really think this is a fantastic, fantastic anime that no one really watched. But like I said, go watch this. You will not be disappointed. It is on Crunchyroll. I don't think it's getting a dub, unfortunately. So if you only watch dub, it's probably not going to get one. But if you do like sub, go check that out. It is fantastic. You will not be disappointed. And I think it's only 11 episodes, so it's not that long. So go check it out. Now, the next part of the podcast is the part where I can talk about anything I want that is non-anime related. Now, last week, I asked you what I wanted to talk about, and the main thing was Nintendo Direct. Now, I'm briefly going to talk about that. We did not get Fire Emblem. We did not get Tomodachi Life. But we did get Metroid Prime 4 finally announced, so good on that. We got a new Mario and Luigi game. Sounds good. But the thing that caught my eye the most was a Legend of Zelda game. And I actually recorded that part of the podcast twice. The first time I said we were definitely getting a 2D Legend of Zelda game. I don't think I said that in the second time I recorded it. So, there you go. But we did get one, but it is about Zelda. It is not about Link. So, I'm very intrigued by this. I think it will be very good, and I'm looking forward to it. But that is not what the topic is this week. The topic is about Star Wars. If you are not aware, Star Wars is one of my favorite things to talk about besides anime. And this week we got the Acolyte the Acolyte episode 4. And boy, did it break the internet. And not for the reasons you would think. Like, oh, this character died. Or, oh, major reveal. No, the major reveal is Mundi is now older than he was. I don't care. And this is my thing. So many people, I made a point to make this because I want to talk about this. And I don't know anything beyond episode 4, so don't worry if you have not watched anything beyond episode 4 and you're watching this. This is just up to episode 4 that I'm going to talk about. But Mundi is confirmed to be older than he actually was in Legends. But here's the thing. Legends was decanonized once before when George made the prequels. A lot of things got decanonized. How the Clone Wars worked in general got completely redone. That was even redone when the Clone Wars series came out. And then it was the little mini-series was pretty much decanonized whenever George decided, hey, I disagree with what, happened here. So, I mean, the General Grievous, he goes from, to where he doesn't cough throughout the series, gets his, body crushed or whatever, and then all of a sudden, that's how he starts coughing in Revenge of the Sith. Nope. George said he's coughing all the way up and right after Attack of the Clones. So, this is not new. And I don't know why it's a problem now, but it wasn't a problem then. And, listen, not the Apothecary Diaries, the Acolyte is flawed. I don't think it's that great of a series. Mostly it's because of the writing and the dialogue. I think it's very wooden. I think it's very boring. You are in such an interesting time period to where you are dealing with Jedi that think they have won a battle that is still going on beneath their feet. And what you are doing is you are making a murder mystery for no reason. You know what would have been interesting is if you focused on the Sith covering their tracks. doing things behind the scenes and knowing how easy it is to cover their tracks. Instead, they decide to make it about witches. And guess what? I don't really care that the witches are seemingly lesbian. I don't care. That's fantastic. You can have a whole movie about lesbian witches, and I don't care. That's great. I think you could do something interesting with that. The problem is that we get bad, this just doesn't make sense. It's just so, I don't know. And here's a spoiler warning. If you haven't watched it already, this is a spoiler warning for what I think is going to happen. Everybody thinks that the main dude that has been following May around the entire series, they think he's the guy in the mask because he got tied up, and then suddenly we don't see him. But then here's the Darth Smiley guy. Guys, do you not know what the concept of a red herring is? He is a red herring. That's what they want you to think. That's what they want you to think. But now you're letting them distract you with this. He's not the Smiley guy. If he is, it is quite literally the worst hidden secret and worst reveal Star Wars has ever done. Awful. Awful. The thing that I think it is, and what I think is lazy, is I think it's the mother that birthed May and Osha. Not the mother that is in charge of their little cult thing that died. It's the other one, the alien one. I think she's the one that is the Smiley one. And I think she is a Sith. And I think what's going to happen is that she is going to fight them. She's going to kill like half of them, but not kill Soul, because I think she wants May to kill Soul or Osha to kill Soul. And what's going to happen is that they're going to go in. Somehow she'll die throughout these last few episodes, whether May dies, whether Osha dies, whether Soul dies, I don't know. I don't really care. But something will happen, and then it'll be revealed she's the one that's behind the mask. And here's what they'll do. They will go back to the Jedi after they kill her, and they'll say, wasn't a Sith, it was a witch. That is such a cop-out answer. The Sith are cunning. The Sith are incredibly smart and intelligent at this point in time. They have been hiding for 900 years. You need to hide them for another 100 before they make their big reveal. You have to show that. Saying that the Sith died by a bunch of Jedi, but they were stupid enough and didn't think she was an actual Sith. She was just a witch. That's boring. That's boring. Just like making an actual Sith. Now, here's what I'm going to hold out hope for. Is that I think in the last episode we will find out she was a Sith. Not from the Jedi. I think we will go back, and then maybe this side dude that everybody thinks is the main dude, I think they'll go back and they'll say, hey, she's dead. And then he'll be like, okay, well, you're the new Sith apprentice. And then it'll cut to whoever's the current master. Is that Plagueis? Probably not. But maybe. But I doubt it. I would say, I don't think they're going to do Plagueis' backstory the same way that they did in Legends. In Legends, he's pretty much alive right up before, not long before Phantom Menace. I think in this series, especially because we've gotten stuff about Darth Maul, I think Plagueis dies about 10 years before Phantom Menace, so that would mean, 90 years from now. I don't think Plagueis is alive right now. I think his master is alive. So, I don't know. They could do something really stupid and be like, hey, you guy that everybody thinks right now is the bad guy, you are now my apprentice, and your name shall be Darth Plagueis. They could do that. That'll break the internet. That'd be stupid, but they could do that. But here's the thing. All right, if they go with the idea that I had that they're going to be like, oh, it was witches. Don't worry, it's not Sith. That doesn't break canon. That doesn't break the fact that Ki-Adi-Mundi is just an idiot. He always has been. He's the same one that was like, the Sith have been, extinct for a millennia. No, dude, they've been going out there and killing people for 1,000 years, and you guys are just too stupid to go out there and check. And then he's the same one. It's like Count Dooku could, or Master Dooku could never kill anyone. He's not a murderer. Dude, he killed Yaddle. And then he's killing people left and right. So you're a stinking moron. Ki-Adi-Mundi is an idiot. That's his character. So to be ignorant to the fact that, yeah, it's probably not witches, but hey, that's easy to explain. It's not the Sith. That wouldn't... How would the Sith be alive? That's stupid. I'm not stupid. Yeah, you are. And that's his character arc. So why would it make sense to make Ki-Adi-Mundi really, really, really smart right now and to be this master detective whenever he's going to make two stupid wording things in 100 years? Makes no sense. And guess what? His birthday does not matter. Because guess what? Every single one of you either had to know it from Twitter or you looked it up. No one knew this dude's birthday. And who cares? George didn't write down his birthday. George probably forgot this dude exists. All they care about was he was like, I need a character, I need a Jedi that is ignorant to show that the Jedi are arrogant to their ways. And guess what? That was Ki-Adi-Mundi's job. That's all that he was here for. This show was bad. I don't like it. It's probably, right now, it'd be Andor, Mandalorian Season 1, Ahsoka, Mandalorian Season 2, this, Obi-Wan, Mandalorian Season 3, Book of Boba Fett. Did I forget one? No, I don't think so. But anyway, it's got a lot of problems, but it's not because of Ki-Adi-Mundi's age. I don't care. I'll probably talk about this again whenever the series is over, but I don't care. I really like Star Wars, and Ki-Adi-Mundi's age did not change anything for me. Do I think this series could completely spin and become a fantastic second half? Absolutely. Do I think this series can crash and burn? Absolutely. I think it's right in the middle right now, and it can go either way. Do I care that there are lesbians in it? Absolutely not. That's fantastic. If you have a problem with that, ask around. That's kind of a thing that no one really cares about anymore. That's just normal. Do I care about the fact that Ki-Adi-Mundi's age has changed? No, I've explained that. This show does not break canon. The fight scenes are pretty good. I just don't think I think the dialogue's bad, and I think the character arcs are bad, and I think it's very predictable for being a murder mystery. I like having twists in my murder mystery, and I haven't got any of them yet. So, and the flashback episode was just boring. It was just boring. But anyway, that's the off-topic section of the podcast where I go over something that I want to discuss, and that has been bothering me all week. So, there you go. There's my opinion. Finally, let's go over what is coming up this coming week. We have 3 videos before the next podcast, and those will be a Ruby Oshinoko Nendroid unboxing. That'll be a big topic for me because I discussed how I did not really like what they were doing with the Ruby Nendroid, and guess what? They announced a new Ruby Nendroid, so that'll be a fun video to talk about. And we'll make it even more fun is I don't have just one Nendroid of her. I have 2. So that means a giveaway. So look forward to that. Yeah, I can't show it to you. But anyway, there will be a giveaway coming up on Monday, so look forward to that. And then on Wednesday, there will be a video on Kodansha, the manga publishing company here in the United States. I think they are an absolutely abomination. They're doing absolutely horrible things to the manga industry, and I want to talk about it because it's bothered me for a very, very, very long time, and I am tired of it. So I'm going to talk about that. Next up here is on Friday, we're going to have another Miku, or Hatsune Miku unboxing video. I already did one of them last week where we unboxed the figure. This week we're going to be unboxing a Nindroid, the one with the car, so look forward to that. And then next week for the podcast, we're going to talk about the summer 2024 anime that is on the way. Those will be starting up not this coming week, but the next week. So we're going to talk about them next week. So we can kind of go over what I'm going to be watching, what I'm going to be skipping, and what I think could be really good that I'll check out if it turns out to be good. So stay tuned for that. But that will be it for this episode of the Slice of Anime podcast. Once again, no guests. I kind of want to get my flow of this before I start bringing on guests. But I hope you did enjoy it. I kind of did a different route this week. I went with a more edited version. It's not super edited. It's still got long periods of me talking, and I'm not editing out all my flubs or whatever. But it is slightly more edited so that I can make a more format to it. So I hope you do enjoy that. But if you did enjoy, please leave a like and don't forget to subscribe. It will really help me out in letting me know what you like and what you do not. And for anyone that made it this far in the video, thank you so much. And I will see you guys next week for, like I said, those 3 videos, and then back again for the Slice of Anime podcast next week. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.